Hi, I'm Heather from Hey Booktubes, and today is older main character romance recommendations. So all of these, both main characters, the main character and the love interest, are going to be over 30. I have some in their 50s, some in their 40s. But yeah, I believe every single one is over 30, which is not old, but also is the older range to be able to find romance novels about. I do enjoy reading older characters. I actually read like new adult too. I don't know, it doesn't bother me. I think because I don't see the characters clearly in my mind, that the age thing, if both main characters are in like the same age range, I don't really care about them being on the young side. If it's the age gap, I do care about them being on the young side. So like I do read younger characters, but I also really do like the mix of having older characters, and especially when they are mature and act maturely in the relationship in the book, that makes me happy. So the very first one that I want to rave about is If She Says Yes by Tasha L. Harrison. I love this book. You probably have heard me talk about it before. It is an age gap with an older woman, younger man. She's 55, he's 32, and he is her son's best friend. I love this. There is even a scene in this book where she's like, I never gave you the impression when you were younger that this was going to be a thing, right? So it specifically addresses the fact that no grooming happened, nothing weird happened, nothing happened when he was 18. It starts when he's 32. Now, he has always had a thing for her since he met her when he was an 18-year-old college freshman coming home with her son, because she's amazing. Darcy is amazing. She is one of those people who is a giver, who gives of herself and takes care of other people, sometimes to the detriment of herself. She's actually not that great at taking care of herself, making sure that she's eating, making sure that everything is okay. And Tomas, I can never do it. I'm so... You guys don't know the mental turmoil I go through trying to say this man's name. Can somebody just tell me what I should say? All right, listen, I finally asked her on Twitter. I was like, please take mercy on me. Explain to me how to say this man's name. It is Tomas. It is Tomas. And I am real good with pronunciations. By the way, I do highly recommend that you follow Tasha L. Harrison on Twitter. She legitimately is one of my favorite Twitter accounts. So, Tomas. It's fine. I love him, okay? I love him. He just wants to take care of her. He worships the ground that she walks on. And his best friend is getting married. And so because of that, he and the best friend are at her home in Charlotte. Nope, in Charleston. Similar words, okay? My brain just is like, they're the same. They're not the same. And she has a big old house. She has thriving plants, which honestly, I could just picture it. I could picture this whole scene of her walking around in her cute robe thing and watering her plants. And I was just like, oh, I can picture this. So they're back for her son to get married, and the son is like, hey, I need you to take care of my mom for the weekend. His dad had died right before his mom was going to file for divorce, and his mom had found out that he had a mistress, and the mistress had a baby, and the mistress and the little brother are coming to the wedding because her son wants a relationship with his younger brother, even though they have different moms, and she's putting him ahead of herself and, you know, is allowing her to come to her home for the wedding. But it's a stressful time for her because of that. And so her son asks Tomas to take care of her for the weekend, and he does. And it's so good. He definitely has a submissive streak, which I did not think could work for me, and let me tell you, it worked. The laundry room scene, I read it months ago. Lives in my head rent free. It's so good. I love that there was no real third act conflict. The son never finds out. There is no showdown with him, and you end very much with a happy for now. and I loved this book. I cannot wait to reread this book, knowing that there's no big showdown at the end. They do kind of split after the wedding, but then you do get the happy for now. But again, no conflict with the son, which I really enjoyed. And I just loved them. I wanted them to be happy. She sold me on it. I absolutely believed that these two could make it work and were perfect for each other despite the age difference, despite the interpersonal relationships that would make that difficult. I believed that they were meant to make each other happy. I loved it. Next I have After the Climb, which is Reverie 0.5 by Kristen and Ashely. This is a story of three best friends, and the two best friends dated and then had a huge falling out and haven't spoken to each other in 20 years. And their other friend just committed suicide, and because of stuff in his will, they're forced to get together. And they find out that he was the source of all of their conflict, of all of their problems, that he was lying and manipulative and on purpose broke them up in the hopes that he could date her. That never happened. They married, they both lived in LA, they had their careers and their children and their divorces, but they never got together, and he had blown up this relationship out of jealousy. They find all this out as they are grieving him, and he's not there to ask about it, and they're struggling with the fact that he wasn't the person that they thought he was, that he decided to confess after death, and that he's gone, and they miss him and they wish he was still around. So that is the setup. She is a famous model, he is the owner of an outdoors store empire, and you get her POV, his POV, and her adult daughter's POV. They are both in their 40s, late 40s maybe. The adult daughter is the main character of the second book, which is coming out when I'm filming this in a couple days, I think. Maybe on Tuesday. I don't know. Obviously, big content warning for suicide of a loved one, but I loved this book and have been really looking forward to the sequel. And it was interesting to watch them try to overcome their anger at each other for something that they just found out hadn't even happened, but they've spent 20 years being mad at each other and finding their way back in a second chance romance, and I loved it. Next I have Set, which is Them Boys #1 by Alexandria House. These are novellas. Each one follows a different brother. There are 3, and the main characters of this first book, I think they're like 41 and 39, and the others are late 30s, and possibly one of them, the woman, is older, so she might be in her 40s. I can't remember, because 2 and 3 I haven't reread yet, so it's been over a year since I read them. But all older characters. It's black love. The guys are really big and broad and husky and kind of intimidating and scary to people who don't know them, or people who do know them because they have a definite reputation, especially when they were younger, for beating the crap out of you. Their dad was abusive. He was an abusive cop, I think, and he was abusive to them to make men out of them, not sexually. He just believed in making them tough in a way that was not healthy and not okay, but he was not abusive to his wife. So that was interesting, and definitely a content warning. In this first book, she owns a successful daycare. He has a company in a different city. They reunite at a school reunion, and they start seeing each other when they're in each other's cities, meeting up once a month, things like that. And then it's been 3 years of them hooking up like this, and he really wants things to progress, but they both agreed that they didn't want to get married or have a serious relationship at all. It's part of why this arrangement has worked so well for them for so long. And he really wants things to progress, but he doesn't know how to make that happen. And he's so protective and caring of her, and it's so sweet. It's so sweet. She has an adult daughter who's really just ungrateful and immature and a brat that throws fits to get her way and teaches at the daycare and just keeps creating problems. On my recent reread, I did kind of skip all of her parts. But older characters, adult grown children, really good. The whole series, each one of the main characters and love interests, they are just so good to each other mutually, where you want them to be happy so badly because they deserve it, because they're really good people, and I love them. Next I have Deal with the Demon by Chace, Verity. The demon is very old. So he counts. And then it's a romance with a single mom, and her kids are early teens. And so I think she's over 30. I literally could be so wrong on this, but at least she has older kids, and then he's super old. So he kind of bumps her up, you know? I can't remember. I could totally be lying about her being over 30. But she's kind of reached the end of her rope. She really needs a change in jobs and to get a better schedule. And her kids are getting in fights at school, and there's a lot of problems. And she gets chosen for a success. And that is what the demon is there for. She can use him in any way that she wants. She can kill him and sell pictures of him, show the body, whatever. She'll get all the money that she needs, and she'll get success. And that's his job that he's chosen. And she's like, I'm not gonna kill you. And she also makes him put on an apron because he's naked. And he's like super tall and has horns and all the things. And he's so sweet. He's like a demon house husband. He makes her cinnamon rolls. He cleans. He like vacuums out the tub. Really cute stuff. He helps her with her kids, and she is able to get a better job because there's somebody staying at home while she works nights. It's a novella. It's really super sweet, and I've reread it. Love it. Lastly, I have Maybe Next Time, which is Vegas Nights #1 by Christina Jones. It's an established couple. They've been married for several years. Unfortunately, they are on the brink of divorce because of a miscarriage that they handled badly, and instead of it bringing them together, it really drove them apart and has caused a major rift in their marriage. They're not living together. They're not speaking. She serves him with divorce papers, and he's like, no, you didn't. I'm not losing my wife. I love you. And he kidnaps her, and it's like, we're gonna fix our problems. And it's so cute. I felt like the miscarriage was handled super respectfully, and it does happen off page. It's happened in the past, and they're just kind of dealing with the fallout emotionally of it still, but not that raw, visceral immediately after it happened. There has been time, and it's absolutely adorable. It's so sweet. He's so alpha, and it's black love, and it's Christina Jones, so there's hilarious banter, excellent dialogue, and I just love it. I love it so much. And they are older. They're both very successful business people, as them trying to find their way back to each other, and him kind of being like, no, we are finding our way back to each other. And it's adorable. I absolutely love it. So that's it. Those are some older main characters, and let me know any recommendations you might have for main characters and love interests over 30. I do really enjoy it. So let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye.